Gordon Shaw, agus I'm free kiss quick. So just check that for agree. Okay, so the Pn agus the raised to midlaku, so n factorial agus the shin ni small na codrum la 2 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so touch me off near to n jidur n ni small na codrum la 3. So it is tashila s equals 3. Okay, so you to p3. So you to 3 factorial. Ni small na codrum la da agwerti 3 lujahin. So 3 factorial can you come 3 factorial and 3 by 2 by 1. So to the calu can the wine ahana. So ni small na codrum la da carni here. Is raised off at 3 she, is to she ni small na codrum la keher, tasha ni small na keher, so task and quotient 4. Okay, now lock go all PK4. Okay, so PK4 so tasking go K factorial ni small na codrum da K lujahin. Okay, so le kruhu P to the K plus 1. Okay, so you to K plus 1 factorial ni small na codrum la da to the K, so da to the K, because K plus 1 minus 1 you to just K. Okay, now so raised 3 lakamich K factorial ni small na codrum la 2 to the K minus 1 agus kaimage A swap all jahan shaw. So raised made the midge yet to you, so can you come near equal K plus 1 factorial. So just note can you come near equal K plus 1 factorial codrum la K plus 1 made if a K factorial. Okay, so raised higgling yet to you with if a K plus he. So you to K plus he made if a K factorial ni small na codrum la K plus he and made if a 2 to the K minus 1. So raised task K plus he for K factorial and K plus he factorial. Okay, ni small na codrum la K plus he made if a 2 to the K minus 1. Okay. Now raised skrive ma the PK, so task going go or the PK plus he, task going go K plus he factorial ni small na codrum la 2 to the power of K. So raised to mid lock invert we show. Okay, agus Jeremich go sha bali mate, so valid F go K plus he to the 2K minus he, or 2 to the power of K minus he ni small na codrum la dog where to K. Okay, so raised let's see yenu test going go Higgling yenu so you to K plus he minus so you to K plus he where did you being get this janta? So to the power of 2K to the minus 1 ni small na codrum la so you to K plus he to the power of 2K minus 1. All right, okay. So I get 2K to the minus 1. So Higgling shin at how could you da to the minus 1 made for 2 to the power of K. Ni small na 2 to the power of K. Okay. So raised 2 to the minus 1 so shin yeah. So test going to go yeah made for K plus he ni small na codrum la he na chun. So okay, because Higgling yeah he a chalu mar yeah too. Just in medication rob with these fossil. Was okay again on you? Catch your machine. So raised K plus he 2 to the minus 1. So shin 2 to the minus 1 for 2K. So 2 to the minus 1 shin 1 over 2. So shin the yeah made for K plus he and then Higgling a yeah 2K to the caluma is right in where away. Okay. So to me fucking shin so made the yeah for da so tasking called K plus he ni small na codrum la da. Okay, so we're with he trasna. So just la sinna chrínu, tascuin gol K, ní smó na codrum la, so dá luigi hín sinna hín, agus a ríist as mar gohil K, ní smó na codrum la 3, tascuin go seo 4. Was it okay? And then just read the statement together. Okay. So sin ceist ever a quick.
Just not declare will be sus.
Oh yeah, sorry. Was it okay, Shan? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So it's got to Jackery just for rated at 2k to the minus 1. So ration 2 to the minus 1 made for 2k, is the 2 to the minus 1, codrum la le. So le for k plus he is mona codrum la he, so the k plus he is mona codrum la da, which we the for da. And then to the he trasne, so the k is mona codrum la he, agus ta k is mona codrum la 3, so therefore the definitely is mona codrum la he. So this is 4. Okay. Was in again then, yeah? Okay, so then you've been a while he got a video later on anyway, okay? So he got a clean in the video later on. Right, so I'm Drake G kist ever a she in Ceisteanna, okay? So kist ever a she. Let's look at my short sheets. Now, so remember PN is reached the time shot which file 1 plus x to the power of n, ní smó na codrum la 1 plus n x. Okay, nuair tá n ní smó na codrum la hín. N ní smó na codrum la hín, bis nuair dog sé dún. Okay, so tá sí le s codrum la hín. Okay, so you to p1. So you to 1 plus x to the power of 1, ní smó na codrum la hín plus hín midi for x. So to hín plus x, ní smó na codrum la hín plus x, tá sé codrum so tá gon go sin 4.
Tá sé réite ní smó na luigi hín is where.
Ní smó na luigi hín a bit.
Shall go X ní smó na luigi hín.
Yeah.
Go x ní smó na luigi hín. Okay. But raised me just touch le n and seo, so just currently just share n equals 1. Agus it is because the 1 plus x ní smó na codrum 1 plus x that's going to go in 4. Okay. Now lock it is the usual pk. Now you must go pk4 or pk4. So i.e. that's going to go 1 plus x to the power of k ní smó na codrum la hín plus kx. Okay. So le cruhu pk plus 1. So pk plus 1 to the goal 1 plus x to the k plus 1. Ní smó na codrum la 1 plus k plus hín midi for x. Okay. So reach caiim den seo sinna úsáid le seo L. Okay. So reach so 3 p to the k. Magala Olana no case position. Yeah, very straightforward. Okay, so by p to the k, so that's going to equal 1 plus x to the power of k. Ní smó na codrum 1 plus k to the x. So the must equate to k plus hín. So that means so k plus hín, that means 1 plus x to the power of 1. So midi yeti for 1 plus x to the power of 1. So sin midi for 1 plus x. For 1 plus x k. Ní smó na codrum 1 plus kx midi for 1 plus x. Okay, well on the new occasion. So just with the magneti for hín plus x. So when we have articulation le hele, you with hín plus x to the power of k plus 1. Ní smó na codrum la agus reach he glat you a bit the more. So you to hín for hín, you to hín for x, you to x, kx for hín, you to kx. Agus kx for x, you to kx squared. Okay. So reached you to 1 plus x for k plus hín. Ní smó na codrum la. Agus to reach higlin a vertical seo a chomud le chéile. So you to hín plus k to the x plus kx squared. Okay, and now converting it comprach, let's see can shaw. So reached to that the pk plus 1, so 1 over x to the k plus 1. Ní smóna codumla hín plus k plus hín midi for x. Okay, agus reached dot bali mate sin ní smóna codumla sin. So we're len hín plus k midi for x plus kx squared. Ní smóna codumla hín plus k plus hín for x. Okay. So add sin leuta. So k plus hín midi for x. Okay. So reached the leu more a cancel the mention. Right hín imola hín. Right 1 plus k to the x imola 1 plus k to the x. So to make facala call kx squared ní smóna codumla 0. Agus tasking go sin 4 dá k ní smó na codumla hín. Sin okay gan ja. So ma ta x ní smó na luigi hín, so tasking go k go ní smó na codumla hín. Even mo de ja minus hín to the goal minus hín squared due to hín. So tasking go sin stal agus k ní smó na hín to the gonig. Ma ta x ní smó na luigi hín, ta ta gonig go ní smó na codumla 0. So tasking go sin 4 da k ní smó na codumla hín, and then he got just a statement ag jeru species. Okay.
So really, how our English and X just a new more square?
Oh, just a ynnu square. Sin he get x ní smó na codumla hín is because the x squared and shahugud, tasking go x ní smó na luigi hín. So that means that because there's a ní smó na luigi hín, that means he gets x of 0. Hín dá 3 ceithre quick. Agus mata x 0 hín dá 3 ceithre quick, tá goni go to k go ní smó na codumla 0, agus because the k hín, tá definitely go ní smó na codumla 0. Because mointe se 0 sin, to 0 codumla 0, mointe se hín, you to hín ní smó na 0, mointe se dá to the go ceithre, to ceithre ní smó na 0, so tas go se 4. Okay. Okay, so mal rubble má sé agus mal range sin goji ceiste over a chart. So then you be na version he got just out of video. Spilem show clean in you. Okay, so ceiste over a chart. Okay, so to PN now just chart jacket is the grain overlay generalish. So you to heen is 1 plus r to the power of n. Agus ríiste sin ní slú na codumla hín is 1 plus nr. Okay. Now, reached higlet sin is scríú because the hín is sin ní slú na codumla hín is sin, that means cai sin na ní slú na sin. So higlet sin is scríú ná, higlet is scríú mar 1 plus r to the power of n ní smó na codumla. Because swap on which hearted, since he got the same as swap all, so task can go to any small codumla 1 plus n to the r. Okay, we mean to cross multiply, just add in sign and shun, so fliplant and sign about the heart. Okay, so task with la s codumla heen, so you to p1, you to heen is 1 plus r to the power of 1, you slew na codumla, or actually border just new such and you it. So you do 1 plus r to the power of 1, ní smó na codumla 1 plus hín midi for r. So you do hín plus r, ní smó na codumla hín plus r, agus tá sin 4. Okay. So lock will pk4. So i.e. you do 1 plus r to the k, ní smó na codumla 1 plus k r. Okay. Now, le cruhu pk plus 1. So you to 1 plus r to the k plus 1 ní smóna codumla 1 plus k plus hín midi fa r. Okay, agus regulation no bruma just for handiness. K plus hín ní smóna codumla hín plus kr plus r. Okay, so 3 p to the k. Nes caiimisin is swapa sehansin. So reached 1 plus r to the k ní smóna codumla 1 plus kr. Agus rud me genis me geri plus 1, so reached me the anrod for 1 plus r. Well, han an your catch one follow 1 plus r. Because to 1 plus r to the power of k plus 1, so that means 1 plus r to the power of k to plus 1 yolan, so can we made it for 1 plus r to the power of 1. So reached task on this go 1 plus r to the k plus 1, because medition for shin. Ní smóna codumla and then just medition for more. So hín for hín you to hín, kr for hín you to kr. Hín for r you to r, agus kr for r you to kr squared. Okay. Now, screw marking to fui. So it is 1 plus r to the k plus 1. Ní smóna codumla 1 plus kr plus r. Okay. So I'm just going to walk in Swiss. It's reached dot bali mate. Okay, so we're measuring 1 plus kr plus 1 plus kr plus r plus kr squared. Ní smóna codumla 1 plus kr plus r. So it is test going to shini caluma, so to kr squared. Ní smóna codumla 0. Now, it is to get jedu mergawal. R squared ní smóna 0, because rather be squared, means different what is a negative or positive to a goni gal ní smóna 0. Agus goal k ní smóna codumla hín ta seo 4. So the kr squared gal ní smóna codumla 0. And then just screw the statement igi jeru. Najin jammed on statement igi jeru. So screw into division to p to the k plus 1 4 ag glock equal pk 4. Mershende to pn 4 to ga n on the wall the n. Again, cash every chart. Okay. So sin jeru induction. Very much screw the bugdiv our induction in a midterm break. So the híne seo to screw the give our differentiation erased. The híne shugun to screw the gulveg of our integration. Agus in shen nege midterm break the híne shen be screw the give our induction. Kishnig then your B. So it's wrong with Moira, head wrong with Moira to Mugola Halfreed a test of my the híne class test. Just get chest namative just Avra she's it's just now Roshi good Jackerson. You're just way overthinking what you give. Okay. Or else just in your own stage or jantig. Okay. Kishnig then you be. On the wall, should mid rate, I guess check for my shiver Moira.
Very good.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Alright, excellent.
Thanks.
I sure.
Yes, Frank. Bob, just stop my record.